In 6 months, your brain can literally be rewired. More calm, better focus, stronger boundaries, more revenue without burnout. This is not hustle, it's neuroscience. So stay with me because I will give you a step-by-step 6-month roadmap. And I'm going to share with you how to join my Q4 sprint waitlist so you can start strong and end this year stronger. I'm Tanya. I'm an ICF PCC coach and a neuroscience junkie with 17 years of coaching leaders and women entrepreneurs. I teach the Freedom Success Formula, identity, habits, and community. And in this video, you'll get a practical plan to transform your life in 6 months using proven brain principles. If you're ready to be guided through this in the Q4, the waitlist link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Just click it below. And stay to the end because I'm going to give you my 6-month freedom blueprint as well as priority access to the Q4 sprint. Let's map your next 180 days with power and intention. There's a lot being spoken about neuroplasticity at the moment. And what many people don't realize is that neuroplasticity happens in phases. Quick wins happen in weeks, consolidation in the brain happens in months, and then full identity shift happens across a couple of seasons. 6 months is enough time to rewire your stress response, automate key habits, and anchor in a new identity. And here's the structure. The first phase involves creating safety for the brain. Change that sticks begins with safety. When your nervous system feels safe, your prefrontal cortex can focus and execute. If you're watching my YouTube videos, you'll know that we use the RAW method: regulate, align, and act. What is regulate? It just takes 2 minutes a day. I recommend doing it every morning or more during the day. Box breathing for 4 counts is a great one, or a 60-second hum to stimulate the vagus nerve. It's in this way that you're telling your brain, I am safe. Align. Align is simply aligning your thinking with the identity of the person you're becoming. Every morning, write one sentence, I am the kind of woman who, and finish it with who you're becoming. Then, here's the magic. Catch one piece of evidence every single day that proves that you are becoming that person and record it. Evidence trains your reticular activating system to notice opportunities that match your new identity. And then act. You've got to close the loop by doing an action, one tiny behavior that matches the identity. So if you feel that sales is scary, your action is going to be to send one DM, not 20, one. If making content feels big for you, then just write one hook. Small actions repeated are what change brains. And if you want me to coach you through this live in October, join the Q4 sprint list right now. The link is below. In weeks 9 to 12, which is phase 2, we lock in the behavior circuits. Think of the basal ganglia as your ops team in your brain, and it loves clear cues, simple steps, quick rewards. A cue is simply something that triggers the next behavior. Anchor the new habit that you want to embed into something that's already happening. For example, after I make coffee, I write the subject line of an email. That's it. 2-minute rule. Start so small that the brain doesn't have time to argue. And yes, 2 minutes does count. Importantly, reduce friction for the habit. Get rid of any blockers that are in the habit. Maybe create a template for your email, pre-write the beginning pieces of your DMs, lay out your gym kit the night before. And then reward, 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 reward. This is what stimulates dopamine production. Celebrate micro wins immediately. The closer the celebration is to the achievement, the more the brain is going to recognize that this is a good thing to do. It might be a quiet yes, or a tick on a tracker, or maybe even a tiny little dance. It gives that little dopamine nudge that says, do this one again. It's good. If you will stack these 3 high leverage habits for the next 90 days, you will see a remarkable turnaround not only in your business, but in your life as well. The first one is a revenue habit. Just choose to do one pipeline action a day, just one, a DM, a follow-up, or a booked call. And the second one is your visibility habit. You have to stay visible in your business, but you don't have to be visible all of the time. One post or one story with a clear call to action, 3 days a week minimum, will do the trick. And then thirdly is your CEO habit. This includes a 10-minute daily plan in the morning or the night before so that your brain has a map to go where it's going the next day. And then a 5-minute shutdown celebration so the brain knows to close off that session. 3 habits, 90 days, and this is when we see real compounding happening in the neural circuitry of the brain. The final phase in the 90 days is phase 3, and this is the cheat code that a lot of people miss. If you've heard the expression, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, that this cheat code is the origin of that. It's community. The brain literally mirrors who you are around, and when you are seen, supported, and challenged by a community, your new identity locks in faster. In our sprints, we use techniques like weekly hot seats, one person, one bottleneck, one brain based solution. And then the whole group benefits from the coaching because of mirror neurons. We co regulate together, just a 30-second breath reset before we do tough tasks, and the whole group's nervous system resets together. We make public commitments because the brain is socially wired. Commitments like, I will do this by Friday, I will get it done by Wednesday, and we commit to those in the community chats, keep people accountable. And then, of course, there's evidence walls. Members post their wins. This is the best part about being in the community, because your brain encodes, people like me doing this, and I am celebrated for my actions and activities. In the beginning, this feels quite manual, a bit like learning to drive, where you've got to talk yourself through it. But by months 5 and 6, you're no longer forcing it. Identity, habits, and environment are completely aligned. And this is why 6 months changes your entire life, because at the end of 6 months, you have an entirely new brain structure. And when you hear me say freedom is an inside job, that's what I mean. It's inside the wiring of your brain that you create the freedom. I promised you my 6-month overarching blueprint, and here's what the timeline looks like. In the first week, that's when we do nervous system reset. So you're going to focus on nervous system resetting, one identity sentence, and one daily micro action. This is the manual part where you're talking yourself through it. By day 30, then we start to track core habits and start recording measurable wins, booked calls, cleaner boundaries, even better sleep people are noticing. By day 60, what the members of the collective are sharing with me is that they have less overwhelm, they've got a consistent pipeline, and they've even got 1 or 2 repeatable kind of content pieces that are working and feeling like it's not an overwhelming task. By the end of the 90 days, which would be the end of a sprint, you're working a freedom routine that fits into your life. It's momentum, not mayhem and chaos. And then the rest of the days 120 to 180, this is when your identity starts to feel normal. The new you starts to feel like the old you felt, only better. Results keep compounding, and you're able to make bigger decisions with a calmer brain. Does it sound too good to be true? I hear you. People say to me all the time, I don't have time for this. And all I'm asking is for 6 minutes. 2 to regulate, 2 to align, and 2 to do an action. And keep that as the starting point. Oh, you always fall off these things, start well, and then give up. That's why we design habits the way we do, because the habits that we design survive bad days. Our principle is miss once, restart, never miss twice in a row, because we teach the brain that doing the thing is more important than being perfect at the thing. And here's something that you might not know. If you're feeling that you are not motivated to do this, this is the real deal here. You do not need motivation to start. You need to start to get the motivation. You need a cue, a 2-minute action, and a micro reward, which produces the dopamine, which actually causes the motivation. People wait for motivation to act, misunderstanding that it's actually the action that creates the motivation. My mantra is done is better than perfect, and starting small is a smart move, not a weak move, because the small wins and the quick wins are what teaches the brain that it's safe to move into a new territory out of my comfort zone. So if any of this resonated with you and you want me to guide you through it with a high support community, join the Q4 Sprint waitlist now. You'll get priority access, early bird bonuses, and my 6-month freedom blueprint so that you can get started immediately before we even start the Q4 sprint. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment, or scan the QR code on the screen. Join the Freedom Collective sprint list today. And to keep your nervous system in the driver's seat, watch this next. While you're stuck, and even though you're doing everything right, I'll see you there. You'll be surprised what you learn. And if you love this work and it's interesting to you and you're fascinated by it, subscribe to the channel. I release one of these every single week. Put your notifications on so you don't miss anything. And if something resonated with you and you loved it, put a comment in the chat. I love to hear what stood out for everybody, and I comment on every single one of them. Have a happy day, and I'll see you on the channel next week.